We now move to the appointments to Tūpuna Maunga o Tāmaki Makaurau. Since our last meeting, welcome Dominic. I'll put a few words in here before you get away. I've heard and taken into account feedback from many of you on the appointments to the Tūpuna Maunga Authority. There's a very strong view that we should appoint elected councillors, not external people, and I've listened to and accepted that view. I'm putting forward three councillors, Councillor Fletcher, Councillor Leone and Councillor Turner. These three councillors are those that expressed an interest in the role directly to me over the first and subsequent weeks. They're all capable councillors with a mix of experience and fresh faces, and my expectation is that they will work together well. Like the other roles we agreed last week, I consider these decisions in light of the overall allocation of responsibilities. And I hope this meeting will show confidence in your three colleagues who are all capable and well-intentioned. They have a challenging job ahead and deserve our support. I also hope we can also acknowledge the hard work of the elected members who have done this role for the past 3 years, which has included some challenges. They are to be thanked for that service. Before I open any discussion, note the purpose of this item is only to appoint the members of the authority, not to debate its role or previous decisions. You received a legal briefing on some matters this week about that, and we'll arrange for a further in-person briefing where we can have that discussion. So try and refrain from going off topic. This is just about the appointments. So I'll introduce Dominic to the Lions Den.
Well, kia ora tātou. I can't see any points I need to raise in particular about the report. You've had this carried over from the 17th. So back through to you, Chair.
Well, that said, I'd like to move the motion and have a seconder. And the Deputy Mayor, thank you. Questions, Councillor Darby?
Can you just clarify, you're moving the motion, and you're moving the motion, you have the first bullet point, or the first number there, Councillor Christine Fletcher, bracket Deputy Chairperson. Are you suggesting our decision today confirms Councillor Fletcher as the Deputy Chairperson?
Under the legislation, we appoint the Indigenous members appoint the chairperson, and the council appoints the deputy chairperson. And so I have that there, but
Can somebody tell me, what does the law say? Is it the council or is it the council appointees? That is the 6 council appointees. I just don't have the legislation with me.
Through the Chair, my understanding is that the law says that it's the 6 council appointees that appoint the Deputy Chair and the 6 mana whenua appointees who appoint the Chair.
So
good point. I'm quite happy to amend that.
So we just need to remove the bracketed section, I think.
I'm happy to do that. On that basis, I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Sorry, Your Worship.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've indicated...
I see your hand. I'm sorry.
No, I indicated that to Sandra and she was going to put it there.
Sorry. Go ahead, Councillor Filipaina.
Tēnā koe te rangatira, Your Worship. Your Worship, I've got a compromise because over the last 6 years, have been a member of the Tūpuna Maunga Authority. I still wish to be one. That was highlighted in the first meeting we had. So I've got a compromise, Your Worship, and that is that there be a vote between myself and Councillor Turner to be the 3rd member on the Tūpuna Maunga Authority. The reason I'm putting this compromise, Your Worship, is because, one, I'm not going to end up, for me anyway, saying, look, Councillor Turner's not this, not that, not this. I'm not into playing the individual game. I do, however, just want to put in front of the committee, and then we can put it to the vote, if that's okay, in regards to the way forward, and I will call a division, is to end up saying 6 years I've been on there, Your Worship. I have, as per the 3.3 of Meredith's report, I understand and know the roles and responsibilities of a member of the Tūpuna Maunga Authority. So, Your Worship, and I just want to acknowledge Meredith for this, I think it's the way forward, Your Worship, is just to have a vote on whether myself or Councillor Turner, if it ends up with Councillor Turner, I wish him all the best on the Tūpuna Maunga Authority for the next 3 years. So, Your Worship, that's the compromise I have, because I still wish to be a member on the Tūpuna Maunga Authority. Kia ora.
Are you proposing an amendment that we have a division between yourself and Councillor Turner for the third position? Have you got a seconder for
Your
that?
Worship, based on your earlier comments and the fact that Councillor Turner has made it known that he is also willing to go on, I just believe that the governing body, which we're in now, can make that decision with a vote between myself and Councillor Turner. And then that way at least we can both move on. And I think that's appropriate.
Okay, so you're moving an amendment. Is there a seconder to that?
The amendment is that a vote be conducted between myself, who is still willing to be on the Tūpuna Maunga Authority, and Councillor Turner, and then we just put that to the vote, and it's called by division.
There is a seconder to that amendment. Okay, Councillor Fuli. We'll vote on the amendment. All those in favour, perhaps we'll go for some hands, I suppose, this time. Thank you, Your Worship.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, Councillor Turner's got his hands up as well.
Okay, I've just been having some advice on this. It's going to be a division, and hands acceptable? Hands acceptable?
No, I have to call him out if he does a division.
Okay, at this stage here, Sandra with an R is going to take over and run the division.
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Filipino has been able to explain himself a little. Can I?
I'm sorry. Just say that again, Councillor Turner.
Well, Councillor Filipino has had a chance to just explain his experience and history. Can I?
I think that's fair. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to say that I have practical experience in this area. My great-grandfather settled on the West Coast, had 9 sons. My family set up Huia Private Reserve Limited in 1939. That land owns the most prominent and most well-preserved Maori pa in the Waitakeris. I have a large family. That company, it's a European structure, but only because in 1939 when it was set up, my forebears didn't have any other sort of idea of how to do it. It's really a trust. In the constitution of that company, it reads this: it is not the objective of the company to produce a financial return to its shareholders. The return to them is in the contribution the land makes in quality of the environment and its freedom for the descendants of the family to have and enjoy the land for access and recreation. I'd also say that I was up there last weekend. I go up there regularly. I've got a big piece of property that bounds straight onto it. And that marae site on the top, I think it's a fighting pa really, that marae, that pa site on the top, it's deteriorating badly because of the vegetation growth, and it would be better off being cleared. I also have 2 granddaughters who have Maori ethnicity, and because of whānau stuff that happens to all of us over a century, and movements within the family and the constitution in order to do a lot of the things that happens in the Maunga that I've read in the media, the way there's inter ideas and even interfighting. One of my two daughters granddaughters with Maori ethnicity will have to be the major shareholder of that company, owning 16% of the company. They are mana whenua in Whangarei, but they are mātāwaka in West Auckland, yet they will be the largest landowners, the largest, person owning this property. I have a very down-to-earth, modern understanding of the complexities of my little molehill, and I'm sure I can bring common sense and an honest, fair representation of everybody to this board. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the past, I've always refrained from getting involved in discussions around the Maunga Authority. I recall I was even asked to chair a protest meeting 2 or 3 years ago relating to Owairaka, I believe, and I said thank you, but no thank you. I made some comments last week, essentially requesting information, the legislation governing, among other things, the Maunga Authority and the Settlement Act. Last Sunday, I received an email from the chairman of the Maunga Authority, which evidently quoted everything I said at that meeting. He must have had a stenographer on the job, but he highlighted a section which appeared to concern him, and that related to the cost of the recent litigation, and also, and I think this was his main concern, not so much the $1 million, it's actually more than $1 million, and more than $1 million plus GST that litigation costs the ratepayers of Auckland. But he was concerned that I mentioned the chairman of the authority and not the rest of the authority. In other words, don't just blame me. What about my mates? They were involved in it as well. Anyway, to be fair to him, I should have mentioned the whole authority, not just him. However, I am concerned, and which is the reason why I asked for the briefing material, is that people who go on to that authority as council representatives under the scheme of the Act to ensure common benefit of ngā mana whenua o Tāmaki Makaurau and other people of Auckland. And I think the other people of Auckland have not been treated well by the Maunga Authority. They've had to go to court, the local community,
Point of order, Your Worship.
At their own cost.
Point of order, please. 1.4.6, relevance in regards to the resolution, which is, and it will be put up, in regards to just replacing Councillor Turner or myself, and relevance now that we're hearing Councillor Lee talk about. It's a point of order, Councillor Lee. And so, Your Worship, I'll just let you rule on that. Kia ora.
You are correct, and I accept that. But I've heard your piece. But
Mr. Mayor, I'm explaining why I think it's important that this amendment be voted down. And the fact of the matter is, previous members of the Maunga Authority appointed by this council were involved in that $1 million litigation against the people, the local people, and therefore I have no confidence. I have no confidence in that member who is interjecting.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Who can uphold the common benefit.
Order. Councillor Lee knows that when there's a point of order, that there's no discussion.
It's going to be hard for the stenographer with all these points of order, Councillor Filipaina.
Thank you so much, Your Worship.
You're going to have an opportunity to vote from this in a minute once we've heard from Councillor Hills, but thank you, both of you.
Thank you, Mayor. My concern here is that the comments that I've just heard make me less supportive of voting through the original, but just hear me out for a second. I will be supporting the original motion, but only because I have always supported what the Mayor puts forward in all the appointments, and that is what I did last week. But my disappointment is the process. Those names should have been there last week, and I think the process hasn't been good. We can talk about that later, but if it was part of the omnibus of all of the names, this would have been a much smoother process. But I'm disappointed Alpha's not there. I think he is a fantastic representative and has been on the Tūpuna Maunga. We should not be appointing people for what I've just heard either. We shouldn't be appointing based on what we think people around that table are going to do, but I won't be supporting the amendment. For the fact is, I supported all your other appointments and you worked with all of us to do that, but it should have been there on that day and I'm disappointed it wasn't. Thank you.
Councillor Henderson.
Yeah, just wanted to briefly add my voice to my colleague Councillor Hills here. I disagree completely with what he said. We should have done this last week, frankly.
Perhaps I should apologise for not managing to make it so well. One slight correction, at the very first meeting I had with Councillor Filipaina, we didn't get as far as discussing this, but the next one we did. On that basis...
Your Worship, I just want to speak to the amendment, which I have a right to.
Please do.
Yeah, so look, and this is going to be very brief. As I said right from the start, this was no reflection on Councillor Turner, and if Councillor Turner then took it as a slight, well then I won't apologise, but I said right from the start, Councillor Turner, that there's nothing to do with you or your history, because my history goes way back and way before yours. So all I'm saying, Councillor Turner, is this was never ever a slight on you, Councillor Turner, never ever. And I just wanted to make that point. So thank you, Worship, and I just look forward to the vote.
No, thank you. We've eventually arrived at this place. I'm going to let my administrative assistant run this.
Thank you, Your Worship. Councillors, you're voting on the amendment moved by Councillor Filipaina, seconded by Councillor Foley, and that is to replace Councillor Turner with Councillor Filipaina. Councillor Barker. Baker, sorry. Councillor Bartley.
4.
Councillor Dalton.
4.
Councillor Darby.
4.
Councillor Ferry.
What is for result?
Abstain.
Yes. Councillor Filipaina.
4.
Councillor Fletcher.
Against.
Councillor Foley.
4.
Councillor Henderson.
Abstain.
Councillor Hills.
Against.
Councillor Lee.
No.
Councillor Leone.
Abstain.
Councillor Newman.
Against.
Councillor Sayers.
Against.
Deputy Mayor Simpson.
Against.
Councillor Stewart. Against. Councillor Turner.
Against.
Councillor Walker. Councillor Watson.
Against.
Councillor Williamson.
Against.
And the Mayor.
Against.
That's lost 12 votes to 6 with 3 abstentions.
Thank you for that. We'll move the original motion. Well, it's been proposed and seconded. All those in favour, please say aye.
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 To the contrary? Carried. thank you for the way that you negotiated that in an excellent manner and without rancour. I appreciate that,
Thank you, Your Worship.
councillors.
Kia ora.